Hello, my crafty friends. I sure hope you're having a fabulous day. My name is Robyn Pitts. If you're new to my channel or you're a returning subscriber, welcome. And welcome to the July episode of the Fancy Fold Card Challenge. This is a year-long collaboration hosted by Mona, aka Paper Mona on YouTube. Each month, Mona has a wonderful group of designers who will create a featured card design, and they'll walk you through step by step on how to make it. Please be sure to check the description box below to see all of the designers. We also have a very active Facebook group. I will also include a link in the description box. Each month we have a fun design and our community creates fun cards. So if you're not already a member, please take a moment to check out the Facebook group. The card challenge for this month is called the Full Star Border Card. This card is a beautiful three-dimensional card and it fits in a 5x7 envelope. In front of you, I've created 3 different versions of this card and I'll walk you through step by step on how to make it. As you can see, this card has a lovely 3D star design, which I thought was perfect for Christmas cards. So all of the cards that are featured in this video will be Christmas card designs. Before I get into the details of the card, let me show you some of the items that I used to make it. All of the card sets that I used are by Hunky Dory. I just love the topper collections and the craft pads. So the first topper collection is by Hunky Dory and it's called Forever Florals Festive Roses. Now this is a wonderful topper sheet and all of these pieces will pop out. You also have coordinating paper, which is the adorable scoreable, and I love it. It's nice heavyweight 250 GSM card weight. You also get card inserts, and when I turn this on the back you can see some of the card examples. This is the luxury card inserts. Now the inserts are very muted and they're on a light thin cotton paper, which is designed to include your sentiment on the inside of the card. The next Hunky Dory collection I use is called Peace on Earth. Now this is a deluxe craft pad and you can see the beautiful designs on the front. When I turn this over, you can see all the items that you get in this kit. You have several different toppers, you have coordinating cardstock, the adorable scoreable, and you also have the light muted card inserts. This is a full kit. The last card kit that I used is called Festive Style Luxury Topper Collection. This is another beautiful Christmas collection. You have several different card toppers and coordinating paper as well as the inserts. So let's take a look at our cards. For the first card, I used the Hunky Dory Festive Rose. I love this paper. I created the card base in a heavy red cardstock, and I created a double matte border for the sides of the star. So we have this gold foil as well as this beautiful paper. And as you can see, this is a full 3D card. On the right hand side, I've embellished it with these red gemstones. We've got this beautiful little bow here and it says, "All I want for Christmas is you." We've got these gorgeous Christmas baubles and a rose in the background, and I love the snowflakes against the black paper. And then on the bottom here it says "Sent with Love," and they've added in more of the gemstones. But this is a beautiful card. Now this overall card measures 5 by 7 inches and it also folds flat. So all you have to do is fold it flat just like this. You may have to put it in a chunky envelope, but it definitely fits in a 5 by 7 envelope. And to fluff it up, all you have to do is squeeze in these little tubes and then you'll have your star shape. So let me give you a look on the side. As you can see, it is beautiful every corner of the card. Now on the back, I have used more of the gold foil for the sentiment area, and then I used the card insert. Again, the card insert, I don't know if you can see it, it has a beautiful design, but it's very muted. So this is where you can include your sentiment. I've also included more of the little toppers here, and this area is open because I want to include a gift card. This is my second card. This is also from the Festive Rose collection from Hunky Dory. Again, I used the red heavyweight cardstock. I love the way this turned out. Now this time, when you look on the right, I used this beautiful arch. We've got these cute little red bows, and I've accented with the green gems. It says Deck the Halls, and then on the bottom it says Joy Noel. Again, I use more of the red gemstones. And to add a little bit more dimension to it, I added in gemstones on the top and the bottom of each of these panels. And then I added another panel here in the side, and it's another Christmas bauble with a little red bow, and on the bottom it says To Someone Special. Now this is what the side looks like. Now when I turn it all the way to the side, you can see it looks like this little piece here is floating. I'm going to show you how to make this little pop out when we do the tutorial. Now on the back of this card, I took another cut apart and I used it as a sentiment, and it says, "May the spirit of Christmas shine in your heart this Christmas time." This is my third card, and I think this one is my favorite so far. I used a navy blue heavyweight cardstock as the base, and I just love this paper. It is so beautiful. On the right-hand side, we've got this beautiful oval, and it says, "A silent night, a star above, a blessed gift of hope and love." And then you've got Mary and Joseph and the little baby Jesus. And on the bottom, it says, "The greatest gift of all." Now, I did embellish this with these gold gems on the side and the top and on the inside here. And then on the left-hand side, we've got this beautiful paperwork. I took another piece of the topper to create this piece here. And we've got the beautiful North Star. And on the bottom, it says, "Silent Night, Holy Night." Isn't this paper gorgeous? And I love the contrast with the gold foil paper. Now on the back, we've got this beautiful card insert. And again, you can just see a hint of the North Star and the other stars muted in the background. Now that I've given you an overview of 3 cards, I'm going to grab my materials so we can make our last card together. To make our card, we are going to work on the base first. Now, the first 3 cards that I showed you had a card base of 5 by 6. However, since I'm going to be using a slightly larger topper on the right side, I have modified the dimensions slightly. So in this tutorial, I will give you the standard measurements as well as the modified measurements that we're going to use for this 4th and final card. So for this modified base, we're going to have a base that measures 7 inches by 6 inches. Then you will need decorative cardstock. You'll need 2 pieces, one for the front and one for the back. So for the gold Mary, that measures 5 inches by 4 3/4, and the pattern paper is 4 7/8 by 5 5/8. And I'm going to put this decorative panel on the right hand side. Okay, and you want to have a nice 1/4 inch border, and then I'm going to flip it over and we're going to take this base. Now I have the gold foil and I've just got inside cardstock because this is where my sentiment is going, and this is going to be placed on the farther left part of the card, just like so. So let's go ahead and glue these pieces down now. Now I've glued down the matting layers for the modified card, and this is again 7 by 6 inches. If you're making the standard card base, you're going to have a card base that measures 5 by 6 inches. For the matting layers, the gold mat will be 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and you'll need 2 of them for the front and for the back. And then for the pattern paper, you're going to need a piece of paper that measures 3 5/8 by 4 5/8. And that will include this beautiful designer paper here, as well as the card insert on the back. Next, we're going to cut 6 pieces of paper that measure 4 by 5 inches. For 4 of the sheets, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 inches. Then you want to make sure you fold and burnish along the score lines well. For the remaining 2 pieces, you're going to score at 1, 2, and 3, okay? And go ahead and fold along the score lines. Next, you want to divide your pieces of paper in 2 separate piles. So the first pile will be the front of the star, and the second pile will make the back of the star. For the first pile, you are going to have 2 sheets that have the 1/2 inch tabs on the side and then the 3 panels in the center. So you're going to have 2 of those. And then you're going to have a piece that has the score lines on the 1, 2, and 3 inch borders, just like so. So I've already added the decorative paper here. Let's talk about how we're going to add the decorative paper on this second panel. We will need to cut 12 pieces that go on the star panels. This area right here, you're going to need 12 pieces of the gold foil that measures 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4, and the decorative panel is going to be 5/8 of an inch by 4 5/8. And I've already gone ahead and matted these. Now, there is a method to how you want to put the paper on the stars. So here we have the piece of paper that has the score lines at the 1, the 2, and the 3. And then we have 2 pieces where we have the score lines at the 1/2 inch, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. For the 2 pieces here that have the 1/2 inch tab, we're going to put a panel right here and right here. And then on the second sheet of paper, we're going to put a panel on the far right side and then the panel next to it. So these 2 panels will be empty, and on this page, these 2 panels will be empty. On the page that has the larger score marks, 1, 2, and 3, we're going to put the decorative paper on the 2 center panels, just like so. Okay, so again, on the piece of paper where you have the large score areas, 1, 2, and 3, we're only going to put the designer paper on the 2 center columns. For the 2 pieces that have the 1/2 inch tabs on either side, 1 sheet will have the decorative panels on the second column and the third column. And then for the second piece, you're going to have the decorative paper on the first and second column from the right. So let's glue these pieces down now. Now that we have all of our decorative panels glued on, you're going to grab your first piece, and we'll call this piece A. This has a 1/2 inch tab, and then you have the decorative panels on the far left side, and then this panel here should be empty, and then you'll have another 1/2 inch tab. Okay, so it's important to have these 2 decorative panels on the far left. So we're going to put adhesive on this tab here. We're going to fold it back, and then we're going to line it up right to the edge of the card base, just like so. So let's go ahead and glue this piece down right now. You want to make sure it's flushed all the way to the edge of the card. Now we're going to fold this piece in half. We're going to fold it right at this score mark here, right after the second panel. And we're going to put glue on this 1/2 inch tab. So here you can see I've only put glue on this 1/2 inch tab. I'm going to fold it down and then fold it over and burnish. Okay, once this piece is attached, you will have this little box. This is the first panel of your star. So let's fold this down, fold it to the left, Next, you want to grab, we'll call this piece B. You have a 1/2 inch tab here, you have a blank space here, and then your 2 decorative panels are on the far right side, and then you have this 1/2 inch tab. What we're going to do is fold this tab in. We're going to put glue right here. Again, I have the glue on this tab. I'm going to push it right up against this piece right here. Okay. We're going to make sure there's a nice tight fit. Next, we're going to take this piece, we're going to fold it over, just like so, and then we're going to fold along this score line right here. So you have this 1/2 inch tab here. We're going to put glue on this tab. Okay, so I have the glue on this 1/2 inch tab. I'm going to turn this piece over. I'm folding it in on the score line. And then I'm going to flip the whole piece over, just like so. Okay, so now we can flip this piece over and we've got our second panel of our star. Now that we have the 2 panels of the star glued on, let's grab our third panel, and this has a large panel here and a large panel here, and the 2 decorative panels in the center. We're going to fold this piece on the left. We're going to put glue here, and then we're going to attach it right up to the score line. You don't want to go over the score line because it still needs to fold freely, but right up to the score line, and then you want to burnish that really well. So let's do that right now. So we have this left side glued on, and now we're going to put glue on this tab. So we have our glue tab here. We're going to fold this in. Make sure it's aligned right up to the score line, and you want to burnish. Now we have our 3 panels on. All you have to do is squeeze these pieces in just like so, and you have the first half of your star created. Wasn't that easy? Okay, so let's turn this card around, and what I'm going to do is fold this in just like so. So you have just the one long panel. Okay, we're going to grab our first piece, which has a tab here, a blank panel here, and then the 2 decorative panels facing the right side, and then you have this empty tab. We're going to put glue on this tab here. We're going to fold it in, and just like we did on the front, we're going to glue it right to the edge of the card base, just like so. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we have our glue panel here, and you want to make sure that you line it right up to the edge of the card. Now that we have this panel glued on, just like we did for the front, we're going to fold along this score line right here, just like so, and we're going to put glue on this 1/2 inch tab. I have glue on this panel. I'm going to fold this in half and turn the whole piece over and burnish. Now we have our first box. We're going to push this down. We're going to grab our second piece, and this has a 1/2 inch tab here. It has the 2 decorative panels on the far left side, and then we have this empty panel here, and then our glue tab. We're going to add glue here. We're going to fold this down, and then we're going to attach it right next to the piece that we just glued on. Okay, you want to make sure it's right against the score line, but not overlapping. So let's do that now. I have the glue panel here, and we're going to butt it up right against this panel here. Now that we have this piece glued down, we're going to turn this piece over just like so. I've got my glue on this panel here. I'm going to turn this over and burnish. Now we have our second box glued in. We have one more piece to glue in, and just like we did on the first, we are going to add glue on this tab. We're going to fold that over and glue it right next to this score line here, and then we're going to add glue on this panel, and then we're going to glue it right up to this score line here. You may find that you need to trim a little bit off on either side before you glue it down. So let's add this final piece. Now we have our 3-star panels glued on in the back, and then we turn it around and we can just puff up the front panels. Now that we have our star completed, we can begin to decorate the right side of the card. And I have this piece. I love the shape of it. We've got the 3 wise men, so I'm going to put that right here. And I do have this on fairly thick foam tape, so I'm going to glue that here. I have a sentiment that I'm going to put on the bottom. So let's glue this down, and then we'll begin adding in decorations on the star panels. I've glued this piece down. Now I want to add another embellishment here on this star. It's quite pointy, so I need to have something to anchor it. I have this piece here which says, "Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leaning, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light." And it's got the 3 wise men. So I want to add this right here in the center, but in order to do that, I need to create a hinge. So I've created this piece. This piece measures 3 1/4 inches by 3 inches, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, and 2 1/2 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it along the second score line, and then fold the little leg out so it should look like this. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold it, and then you should have a piece that looks like this. Then we're going to add glue. Pardon the glue on my fingers. We're going to add glue to these 2 panels, and we're going to glue it right down over the score mark where there's a bend. Okay, so you want to figure out where you want to position your sentiment. I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to put it right in the middle. So we're going to put a little glue on these tabs here. We're going to fold them in just like so, and we're going to glue it right over this score mark. And you want to let it sit there for a few seconds. Your piece should look like this. Then you can take your piece and glue it on just like so. So we have this piece glued on, and as you can see, it pops up. This is the side profile. Okay, so let's turn this over. And this is a signature panel, but I want to add this little sentiment that says, "May the greatest gifts of peace, love, and joy be in your heart this Christmas." So I'm going to put this right here in the center, and then there's still enough room to write a sentiment. And then I'm going to finish embellishing it with a few gemstones, and then I'll be back with the final reveal. This is my finished card. On the top, I added this double-looped navy bow, and I've embellished it with this gold gemstones. I've added gemstones on the bottom of the card. And this is the back. We've got a little sentiment here. There's still enough room to write a little message. And then I've carried in the gold gemstones on the back. Here's another look at my full star border cards. Hopefully I've inspired you with new and creative ideas. If you like this video, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next month for another fancy fold card challenge. Bye for now, and happy crafting.